Planes are loading. Thank you. Alright, so today we've got a big end of year reflection, shadow and schmooze chat. So this is gonna be a big boy. I know this video is gonna be super long. So grab your coffee. I have my coffee. Unfortunately, I don't have a super cute Santa cup or something, but you can just imagine it here. You know, I love a good reflection. I will say I was feeling real in my feels on the plane over here when I took all these notes. I wrote down like a whole page of thoughts and feelings and goals and words and how the year went and everything. And I was just in the zone and I was thinking, I wish I could just film this on the plane right now because I was in it mentally. So as I'm editing back this video, hopefully it matched up the same way I was thinking about it all on the plane, you know? We wouldn't be ringing in 2023 without neon green. I'm in my neon era. But if you're new here, Shadow and Schmooze is where I put on makeup and we talk about life. But all the makeup I use on my face today is listed down below. Before we get into the chatty part, oh my god, this is a workout. I wanted to thank Thrive Market for continuing to support my channel and sponsoring a portion of today's video. What better way to end off the year than with some of my favorite snacks? You know, I've used Thrive Market for literally years now. Whew, that was heavy. So I get some of my all-time favorite snacks and drinks on Thrive Market. They have literally everything. They're an online membership-based market. You can get lifestyle, beauty stuff, food, wine. They have super good prices on there and they do really good sales. So a lot of the times I just go through my like past orders and then when something's on sale, I'll just add it to my cart. I got 2 boxes of Larabar, peanut butter chocolate chip, and coconut cream pie, which sounds amazing. Love the packaging, so cute. I always have some kind of snack bar or something in my purse because I get a little hangry and it's not great for anyone involved when I get in my hangry zone. So I love having some kind of bar in my bag. I'm gonna try the coconut cream pie one. There's no sugar added, plant-based, gluten-free, and vegan. And that's something that I always look for with bars is I can't have whey. A lot of bars, protein bars have whey in them. These do not. I love coconut anything, and Larabars only have 2 to 9 ingredients in them, so literally just like the raw ingredients, fruits, nuts, spices. They're non-GMO. I'm headed to San Diego after this and my parents are big bar people too. So definitely gonna be adding Larabars into my Thrive orders from now on. Also what I love about Thrive Market is it's very easy to shop on there by dietary restrictions, lifestyle. If you're keto, gluten-free, there's whole categories for you. Orders over $49 ship free and carbon neutral shipping. Well, I needed pads. So I got these organic cotton cover pads, but they had a really good price on these. So I got these for a friend that I'm staying with here. These are their organic chocolate truffles, the Thrive Market brand, and I thought these were so cute and like the packaging just for like the holidays. These I always repurchase because Thrive has the best prices on these. These are so good. They're the vanilla cold brew with collagen oat milk latte. More drinks. I'm the can queen. Okay, it just makes food taste so much better if you have like a fun drink. But I love the poppy sodas. I got watermelon. My favorite poppy flavor is root beer, and I'm trying this. Haven't tried this before. It's mango habanero. Hell yeah, I got root beer, I forgot. These are my favorite. Every membership that you buy, they donate a membership to a teacher or low-income family. So if you aren't a member yet, Thrive Market's giving you guys 30% off your first order. Plus you get a free gift up to $60 and they have some good gifts on there. If you want to check out Larabar and Thrive Market, you can at the link down below in the description box. All right, I was worried how this was gonna look in here, filming this way because the window's right there. But you know what? I think I like it. I've got every possible light on. I've got my, let me just insert a photo what's happening right now. But you guys, we're doing an end of year chat. New Year's is coming up. I'm looking pretty Christmassy, man. I've got my Christmas pajama shorts on and my Grinch slippers. Looking good over here. So I just decided, I think I actually want to start off with my eyes today. Go in reverse order instead of starting with face like I usually do. I did already prep my skin though. I have on the vitamin C serum. Hoping that's just a trash truck that's gonna go away in 5 seconds. Going in with the Lawless Brow Gel. This is what I've been using every single day. Okay, so 2021. I literally the other day Googled what year is it. So, no, not 2021, 2022. Well, yeah, killing it already. So I'm just gonna talk and see what happens in this video like usual. So let's start off with holiday break. So like I talked about in one of my Shadow and Schmoozes back like a few months ago. Actually, that was in summer. Whoa. Yeah, it was in Arizona. That Shadow and Schmooze was like the one not to miss of the year. So if you haven't seen the Shadow and Schmooze, go watch it first because I talk about a lot of stuff that I'm not going to be touching on in this video, but that I feel like was really like important to this year and that I'll probably be like relating back to. But in that video, I talked about work-life balance, just like the shift that I've made, but I still haven't taken like a true work break in a couple years since that whole revelation. So you can go back and watch that video. But basically I was like, hold me accountable. I'm going to take a winter a holiday break this year. Just the way timing worked out with brand stuff. It's interesting because November, December, end of year is always like the busiest time because brands have like their end of year budget that they realize they have a big chunk left and they're trying to like spend it before the end of the year because it doesn't roll over. So it's not really like the best time of year to take off, to be honest, because a lot of last minute stuff comes up. So in 2023, I'm gonna plan ahead right now basically for the next year, take off a few days or a week or whatever somewhere else, and then like a week by the holidays, just so it's not just at the end of the year. But with that being said, I'm still doing what I said I was gonna do, and I am taking off sometime basically every year between Christmas and New Year's. And that's like the one time a year I feel like really where most people really have it off. You're with family. It's just like such a special time between Christmas and New Year's. And every year I'm like weirdly jealous of other people doing that without being like, oh, I also could do that. I'm just choosing not to. Like, it's on me. So this year I'm so excited because I'm doing that. So I'm taking off basically like before Christmas to around like the 2nd of January-ish. So there'll be a few days around Christmas and New Year's where I'm not uploading and I'll be taking time off. In order for me to do that, the reason why I'm not pre-filming and not having it go up on those times is when I take time off, I have to like I delete all the apps. I'm like not checking notifications. If a video goes up, I'm like thinking about the comments and stuff that I can't see that I'm not responding to. And it's just like more stressful for me to like know videos up but not being able to like comment back on it and not being able to like see what's going on. So I do feel like in order to actually mentally feel like I'm on a break, I need to really delete the apps and like basically be fully offline, everything, like not watching YouTube, because whenever I watch YouTube, I'm like in a way still in work mode because I'm thinking like, oh, I could do that, or I'm gonna come up with this video idea that reminded me of that. And so it's just like you go down a hole. So after this video, this is not the last video I'm filming before the new year. I have a few others coming, and then I'll see you guys in the new year. And I think anyways, like there's so much content to catch up on right now. I know for myself, I literally have so many Vlogmas videos that I've just added to my like watch later from other people. December, everyone is going upload crazy, so I'm sure you guys will not miss my face for the like week that I'm gone. In the new year, I am gonna have like a reset video coming and kind of like planning whatever, and I think in that video is when I'll like sit down and figure out when I'm gonna take other time off throughout the year. But I think more than ever this year, I'm like so looking forward to doing nothing, like sitting in front of a fireplace. Why is that so hard to say? Sitting in front of a fireplace with a book, with Parker, with my family, like playing games, eating good food. I'm just like so ready to not be bouncing around, just staying there. So I guess that bleeds into our next topic, which obviously this last year, and also like what's coming in the next year. As you know, or maybe not if you're new here, I've been traveling for it has now been 14 months of nomad live-in. So not having a permanent place, bouncing around, traveling, working remote. 14 months. That is crazy. It actually was funny because when I was like thinking about accounting things, I was like, oh, I started the year in New York. And I was like, wait, New York was actually last year now. Like when I started my whole nomad thing, I started in New York City for 2 months, and that was last year. I'm using the little Kaja quad. There's just really pretty like cool tones and just easy to throw on. So as a little new year wrap up, I'm gonna put in everywhere here that I went in the last 14 months. So some of those cities had repeats, like Seattle, I went to basically every like 3 months because of doctor's appointments. Then I went to San Diego a couple times, went to North Carolina where my grandma is a couple times. I don't even know how to like start this recap of an entire year of doing this, but like one thing for me that I think I love about looking back at this year is I feel like normally at the end of the year, it's hard for me to feel accomplished at the end of the year as far as life. I feel accomplished with like work things or with other things, but as far as like life and living, I feel like this was the year of living for me in like more ways than one. I mean, I started off the year, well, you know, a couple months before, but at the beginning of the 14 months, went through a long-term relationship breakup and then decided to do this initially just for a few months. And then here we are. I think for me, like when I think about 2022, the words that came to my mind were freedom, adventure, and gratitude. I think this was the first year in a long time where I've really felt like free, and not just free. I'm not just talking about like being single or like having the freedom to move around. Like, yes, those were big things, but also just being free in the sense that like, I think I let myself get this idea out of my head of like being single, being 30, like those are things I really truly embrace now, because this is literally the only time in my life where I'm going to be able to pick up and go without a relationship, without kids, physical, like tied to a place. This year I just had like a big mental shift with dropping what I thought I would be doing at this age, who I thought I may be with, and who, I mean, obviously you have these like images in your head, especially when you're in a relationship, of like what the next few years are going to look like. So it's just interesting to go from that to then like reframing what the future looks like. If you're ending a relationship, or you know someone who is, or you're going through a similar thing in life right now, I'm going to link that video in the item down below. It's just like a card chat where it wasn't like specifics about the breakup or the person. It was more just again about like that phase of life and going through that. So I think hopefully it could be helpful for you. I think you guys honestly really helped me at that stage last year, because a lot of you were like, I followed my gut and then I, you know, met my person like a year later, 2 years later, or in the other way where you're like, I didn't listen to my gut and I ended up getting divorced. And so for me, it was just like super reassuring to hear that there were so many other people who were in a similar situation who followed their gut. I mean, this year I just realized a lot of things about myself. More than anything, just learn to embrace every stage of life you're at, because I feel like we're constantly trying to get to the next stage of life. I feel like we're just constantly on this like hunt for the next better thing without being fully present and just really being thankful for the phase of life that we're in. The grass isn't always greener, you know? There's no better position in life. Everyone's just on their own path. I feel like this is truly, if I like think about it, I think this is the first time where I'm not like dying to get in a relationship, which is interesting because like I want that for the future. And that's definitely something where I'm like, if I met someone that was right, I would for sure want those things. But I think I'm just like very content with living, you know, and not focusing on this like ultimate goal of getting here and doing this. It's like, no man, I am gonna be at one point in my life like thinking back to this point in my life, wanting possibly to go back here, or just like being like, whoa, remember that time when I was 30 and I was traveling all over and I was free and no one was depending on me. And it's not that like this phase of life is just butterflies and rainbows and everything is perfect. There's always, you know, things that aren't amazing. Doing this also can come with like intense loneliness sometimes, being like, whoa, I'm literally across the world fully by myself. And if there's like a city where I'm not easily meeting people, or you can feel like super low and super lonely. But I just view that as like part of the process, and ultimately like those moments teach you about yourself and you're like, dang, I got through that, you know? But also when I think back to like the freedom word for this last year for me, when I was like really thinking about it on the plane, I realized I think a huge part of that was that this was the first year in, I don't even know, probably like 13 years, yeah, where doctor's appointments and like medical stuff wasn't my like daily forefront of my mind, where it's like Monday I've got this appointment, Tuesday I've got chiro, Wednesday I have PT, Thursday I have another doctor's appointment. It's like that was my years for so many years. And for me, it's not that those things have gone away. They're still very much there. And a couple of the things I haven't talked about will always be there. But for me, it was just like this like pause. It was like this huge relief. It was just like this huge relief of pausing all those things. Like I canceled a surgery I was supposed to have. I put off Mayo Clinic. I've just like paused on all these medical things. And I think it was interesting because like I was feeling like that was the right thing to do. And then I talked to my parents about it when I was like supposed to have a surgery. And they were like, we were going to say the same thing. You're having the most life you've ever had right now. Not that everything's gone, but like it's just not having all of the added shit on top of it of all of the doctors and research and just exhaustion. It just was like so nice this year to just like put a pause on that. I know that stuff is still coming, you know, in the back of my mind. Like I know I'm like going to the next surgery and everything. But for now, I'm just feeling like I'm in maintenance mode right now with health stuff, and that's a place that I feel okay with for right now, and it's enabled me to be able to do certain things and like push myself. I think that is like the big freedom piece for me this year. I'm not even thinking about makeup right now. So I'm gonna talk about like my favorite and least favorite places, I think more towards the end of the video, but first let's talk about how I'm like overall feeling with all of it, if I'm gonna keep doing the nomad life, the headspace I'm at right now basically with it. Overall, I would say I'm still like very much enjoying what I'm doing, and again, I just always come back to like I feel like I should be doing this as much as I can right now. I do have travel plans booked through basically August, but like I'm staying in San Diego for 2 months of that. It just kind of made sense to like continue doing this basically through August, but I'm pretty sure right now I haven't booked anything for fall, but what I'm leaning towards is in the fall staying somewhere for like 4 to 6 months, and I have a few different ideas which I'll talk about in a future video once I like think more about that in my head, you know. A couple of them are in the US, a couple of them are outside the US. The only thing that I'm really like getting tired of is just the packing. Hold on, I'm gonna tight line, I'll be back. Okay, I kind of stabbed myself in that eyeball. It feels great. It's really the packing up and carrying suitcases bit. The good things way outweigh that, like you know, rough, whatever. I guess we're doing eyeliner. Didn't really just think about that. I'm gonna kind of smudge out the liquid liner I just did. I'm gonna put lashes on, so I don't really care how the end looks. Basically at this point, I've made sure to book only things that are refundable and cancelable. So I want to be able to, if I'm, you know, 3 months into next year and I'm just feeling like, man, I really just want to stay in one place now for 6 months, I want to be able to like cancel those things and do that and have that flexibility. This year was also a big year because I hit 10 years on YouTube, but also I got this email the other day where it said my first upload was like 4,900 something days ago, and so I googled that, which said 13 years ago. Pretty sure what happened was I remember at one point I did upload a couple of videos. I think that was before college. 13 years ago I would have been 17. Yeah, I totally remember this. I was in my parents' house and I did upload a couple videos, and then I decided against it. Definitely deleted them because they're not on my channel anymore. So I guess if you're someone who's doubted yourself, I started it 13 years ago and then didn't actually start uploading until 3 years later, which I kind of totally forgot about. And I also thought that was on a different channel. I use Benefit Roller Lash. I do like this mascara, but I do feel like if you're getting roller lash, get the full size because it is harder to get in your lashes with like mini mascaras, but it's good if you just want to try out high-end mascaras and you don't want to pay the full price. Ulta's been having really good sales on the Benefit minis, but with mascara it can be a little hard to get in your like outer lashes especially. Restarted our fire, so we have the bonfire going. Can't have some skimpy flames, you know? Might fall over. Yeah, okay. Wow, this is really a balancing act right now. I think I got it. Okay, going in with lashes. It's always very difficult for me to tell you which lashes I'm actually wearing because I plop them back in here. I should have a better method for this, and then I just cut the crap out of whatever lashes I'm using. Okay, so I said my 2022 words. I think my 2023 words are connection, adventure, and balance. Let me know if you guys want to hear about this in a different video, but actually recently at a bridal shower, like just a couple days ago in my time in Seattle, my friend had like a professional star chart or birth chart reader. I don't know her professional title, but she like read all of our birth charts, and it was actually very interesting. I am super skeptical when it comes to astrology and everything, and I just in the past haven't been like that into it, but it was real interesting and impressive. But where was I going with that? Another big like mindset shift I had this year is truly how friggin' short life is, which sounds very obvious, and like we always hear that saying like growing up, life's short. For me, I was watching a Gary Vee video. I'll try to link it down below. I referenced it in another video, but basically it just zoomed out on like how small we actually are in terms of everything, and how our like 80, 90, 100 years on earth, however long you are lucky to be here for, is just literally so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, that whatever you do in this life, it just makes the small frustrations or the small choices or whatever just so minuscule. And ultimately just like have fun in this life and like do what's gonna make you happy and be with people that you love and that you want to spend time with, because it's all just, we're just here. You can get really caught up in like the day-to-day and work and all this stuff, and like, yes, we need those things. We need the structure, we need finances, all of these things. But one book I wanted to talk about that's like kind of along the lines of that I read this year is called Die with Zero. I would say only read this book if you've already read the finance book I always talk about, which is The Simple Path to Wealth. That basically just talks about investing no matter where you're at, any stage of life. Read that book first. That's just like a good background finance book. I think you should also probably read 4-Hour Workweek before Die with Zero, because 4-Hour Workweek does talk about a lot of like mindset stuff as far as thinking about life in terms of like mini retirements throughout your life rather than like one big one at the end. There are things that I agree with and don't agree with that book, but there are some good ideas in that book. So if you have read those two, I think then Die with Zero would be useful. Otherwise, it's a little, I can't really sum it up without giving like the background that he talks about, but the whole premise is kind of, I mean, it's extreme. It's not literally dying with zero in your bank account, but like he kind of thinks that with anything you read, take into consideration like your own life and like the balance that you're comfortable with. Take things with a grain of salt and apply it to your life in a way that feels right. It gets very repetitive and you kind of get it. I think there's more of a balance needed than what he talks about, which is why I think the Simple Path to Wealth book is important. There is a balance between the two, but Die with Zero is more of like, I would take it as like a mindset for a specific kind of person. But for me, I liked parts of it because it did kind of feed back into the whole like, we're just so small, we're so insignificant thing, do whatever the heck you want to do with life, you know, because ultimately we're here and then we die. Not to get like morbid, but I don't know, for me, death, people feel very strongly about death, which makes sense. Me, it just feels like something I'm out of control of to a certain extent. Obviously you can do things throughout your life that are good choices, bad choices, we get it. But I don't know, for me, death has just been like an inevitable thing where it's for the most part out of my hands. So like, what's the point in stressing out about it, I guess? I know like once you have kids and other people are depending on you, obviously, sometimes people like think about death in a different way. Life is gonna happen. You're gonna die eventually, hopefully later in life. I think there are so many experiences as far as like near-death experiences or just like interesting things with the universe that I do think something happens with our souls. Or how did I get started talking about death? I'm supposed to be doing like an uplifting reflection New Year video and I'm talking about what happens when we die. Okay, I actually really don't remember though how I got on that. Especially in the last like 6 months, like the second half of the year, been like, I guess more at peace with like life in general because it is so small. This is the Milk Makeup Concealer and it is literally the best. Wow, we're doing like full face today. I'm gonna do essence powder under my eyes. One goal with YouTube that I really want to try to figure out and get better at in the new year is, I still do this thing, I'm doing it right now, like literally last night I was up to like one thing about it, then I woke up at 4 a.m. thinking about it, is sometimes I just totally go crazy overthinking my vlogs. The reality I'm showing versus the reality I'm living. It's harder when I'm having a rough month health-wise because then things just look farther apart and I'm always just trying to find the balance of like, do I just leave out this entire chunk? Like last night I was re-editing the Paris vlog for the 4th time, which is just insane because I'm overthinking these like small things I'm saying, or I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna cut out this entire part, or that seems too complainy, or I've mentioned not feeling well too many times and I'll just like cut it all out, but then the final image is like so far from the reality of that trip that then it just feels weird and disconnected where I almost just want to like trash the whole video. That's where I'm at currently. I haven't posted the Paris vlog in my time. I don't know what the final thing's gonna look like because literally on my to-do list today is like figure out what I want to do with that video. Just constantly going back and forth, always on vlogs. Do I just cut all of it or do I keep parts of it in, but then that's also not the full picture? It's just always, this is what I do. I like go back and forth 5 million times in my head. So I don't have an answer for it. If any of you have an answer for that or are therapists, I would appreciate it because I feel like I've gone through this 500 times with my therapist and we can't seem to come up with a good solution. I'm going in with Shelly by Benefit. These are so cute. Love the little mini compacts. But this is something that for years has been my thing with YouTube that I quite literally lose sleep over. Sometimes it's just think about just trashing the whole video, which isn't a good solution because then I'm, wasting work, wasting a whole potential video, but also this isn't like a one-time thing, it's an ongoing thing. So I just need to figure out like the solution and what works for me rather than like trashing a whole video. I don't even know if that explanation just made sense. I'm going in with this. I've been really liking the Benefit Tickle highlighter. It has this like peachy pinky sheen to it. It lays really nicely on the face. Like it doesn't look glittery because it has this like peachy color. It just melts into the blush really well. How's our fire doing? Pretty strong. I guess that's just with YouTube in general because there's always the balance of like, even with this video, I have in my notes like things that, I mean, this year wasn't all amazing. Obviously, no one's year usually is. There were a lot of family things that happened this year and, you know, a death and other things that are just part of life. But again, it's like, how much of that do you talk about on the internet versus like pretend it didn't happen? I don't know, man. Sometimes you kind of have to just not for your own sanity. I just want to make sure you guys know, like, whenever I'm talking about this stuff, has nothing to do with my appreciation for you guys or for YouTube in general. I've said so many times how grateful I am for this job, and also just for you guys for having a community. The goods with YouTube for me continue to outweigh the bads, and like there are with every job, there's pros and cons. And I'm just trying to share, like, you know, some of the thoughts that go through my head on a daily basis. I'm thinking about everything I just said in this video, and I'm just like, I hope all of that came out the way I wanted it to. Overall, extremely grateful for this year, and I feel like I've just learned a ton, experienced a ton, obviously been a ton of places, and I realize like how fortunate I am to be in a position to do that. Thank you guys for continuing to watch the videos as they've evolved this last year. I tried to keep like the makeup videos and chatty videos throughout, but it has been fun to kind of like experiment with different kinds of videos and different kinds of editing. And thank you if you're someone who has watch those videos. I really appreciate it. We need to do lips. I'm like ready to wrap up here. Whenever I do my makeup in the opposite order, I'm like, did I even do everything? I think I actually want to do a more like cool toned lip today. I think that will look good with the neon and the eyes. So I'm gonna take Sephora 29 Dress to the 90s. This is a like gel lip pencil, so it's not super matte. You can like apply these all over basically, but I love the formula of these. If you have dry lips, you probably would really like these. It has like a little bit of a sheen basically. Oh my god, I didn't even talk about the cities. Favorite and least favorite cities that I went to. This is Makeup Forever 194. Okay, for favorite cities, these are in no particular order. We have Edinburgh, Barcelona, Atlanta, and Chicago. I think for me, Atlanta was the most surprising. I have 2 Atlanta vlogs. If you want to like see why, hear more, I talk all about it. Chicago, I just love Chicago. It's so unfortunate that the dating scene there was a 1 out of 10. And then we all know how I feel about Barcelona. I went there twice. And Edinburgh, I have a whole vlog on if you missed it. It was a recent one. Absolutely loved it. Let that dry. Most fun, this was just for me because of the people, really. Like this like really made it for me because of the people I knew in each city. But most fun award goes to Austin and New York City. I guess New York City was technically last year, but I'm considering it the last 14 months, okay? Least favorite, I think we all could guess it. I'm sorry, Boston. Boston was my least favorite city for a few different reasons. It was a combo of things, probably like personal things going on at the time, the loneliness feeling, but also just the city itself truly wasn't one of my favorites. I think I do need to go back in summer, but it just felt like a smaller version of Seattle to me and like a not as good version. I know people like really love Boston. So for me personally, it's just not a city that I'm like dying to go back to. But like I said, I've heard it is very different in the summer. Sorry, Boston. And that's actually the city that I started out this year in. I rung in the new year, 2022. In Boston. So at least I got my least favorite city out of the way right at the beginning of the year, you know? Okay, this is the final look. Did I have a single sip of my coffee that whole time? I don't think so. You know what? Actually, this isn't the final look. Do I need to make the lips a little lighter? Hold on. To make my lips a little lighter, I'm gonna add a little bit of Maybelline More Blonde. There we go. So here's the makeup. This is the final look, end of year shadow and schmooze. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna have all the makeup listed down below in the description box. Again, if you wanna check out Thrive Market, you can get 30% off your first order and a free gift up to $60 at the link down below. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of you guys who stuck around for another year. I hope you all had a good 2022. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.